Hey, this is Hinkle from South Mississippi Gamers. We're here on the last day of Wargames Con 2013, and I'm here with DC from Privateer Press and Logan from South Mississippi Gamers, and they're going to do a 35-point battle match with the Crisis of Convergence and your circle. Y'all go ahead, shake hands, and the best man win. Let's follow up on the battle report.
Well, today, building this 35-point army, I mostly had the forces from the No Quarter Battle Report to work with. So I again have Forge Master Syntherion on the table for this Wargames Con Battle Report. And since he's such a great Warjack caster, I brought 6 vectors with him. 2 diffusers, 2 galvanizers, and 2 monitors. To support this great battle group with 6 Warjacks in it, I've got a unit of reciprocators. They're good at holding the line and taking damage. I've also got a trio of attunement servitors. These guys can really help the rest of the army hit your opponent's models by using their flare ability on the Lumichem ampules. And then a trio of reflex servitors. These are the guys with countercharge who also explode when they make a melee attack. So they'll be charging in to try and use their blast damage to hopefully take out some of the druids on Logan's side of the table. We'll see how that goes.
Alright guys, on the circle side of the table, what we got the full trio of Warpwolves. We got the Stalker, Pureblood, and the Feral. Back here we have Kaya and Laris running the show. Then we have the Druids of Orgros with the Overseer attachment, providing support for the whole thing.
During the first turn, I had all of my models in my battle group, all of my Warjacks, run forward, and to do so and still have a lot of focus left over, I used a mechanic called induction. This is something specific to the Convergence of Cyriss Army, and it means that when a Warjack in a battle group spends a focus point, it can give that focus point, allocate a focus point, to another Warjack in the same battle group within 6 inches. So this allows that focus to just trickle through the battle group. Note that it is only once per activation, so I can't make a whole bunch of attacks and pass a whole bunch of focus. It's just once per model. So I've moved all of my jacks forward using just a single focus and inducting smoothly through the battle group. I also had Syntherion move forward and cast Reconstruct on my monitor so that the first time he's destroyed, he'll come back with 1 damage box in each system. He also cast Synergy on himself, which will allow me to amp up the melee damage my battle group puts out as the other models in the battle group hit opposing targets with melee attacks. We've also got the Reciprocators who ran forward. I'll want to get them in shield wall eventually, but this turn it was more important to get them into the middle of the action, get them ready to go. My Reflex Servitors advanced and dug in, so now these countercharging mines are dug in and have cover, even though they're out in the open. And last but not least, my Attunement Servitors all ran forward to get into position to launch some Lumichem ampules in the next turn or 2.
Alright guys, circle turn 1. The Pureblood first moved up and used his spray attack on the Reflex Servitor there, took it out. The Feral and Stalker just moved into the cover on either side. Kaya and Laris moved up. Kaya cast Shadow Pack for the whole battle group. Now they have stealth. And then the Druids just moved up. Nothing really happened, just an advance. Alright, that's it.
During my second turn, I advanced my troops further up the field. Even though Shadow Pack was active, the True Sight ability on the monitors allowed me to get a couple of buzzsaws into the Pureblood Warpwolf. Neither of them made a critical hit though for brutal damage, so they did all right. They wound up taking out the mind of the Pureblood, but I'm sure that'll be back soon enough, and he still has plenty of health left to go. I also had my Servitors advance. The Reflex Servitors are kind of trying to hold the line against all these wolves, and the Attunement Servitors moved into position and launched flares. The flares wound up catching 5 different druids from 2 different flares on 2 different sides of the table here. But that allowed my diffusers here to take some shots at those druids, and with the -2 defense and with boosting the attack roll and with luck, they easily took out a couple of these druidic magic users from the Circle Ouroboros. Last but not least, my Reciprocators unit formed into a shield wall so that they will be much more difficult to destroy, and Syntherion put Hot Shot on the monitor to basically give me a free boosted damage every turn from now on, since he upkeeps his spells for free thanks to Resourceful. Resourceful also upkept Reconstruct and Synergy last turn, so as you can see, the Convergence of Cyriss Army under Syntherion is a very focus-efficient machine.
All right, guys, Circle turn 2. What happened is the Pureblood healed, uses Regeneration to get back 2 points of damage, healing back his mind, and used a spray attack to take out the Reflex Servitor over here. Did some damage to the Diffuser. Then the Feral warped for Ghostly, charged over here for the Attunement Servitor and the Diffuser. Had the most amazing dice rolling I've ever seen, and so I hit him and then rolled 3 6s for damage, so that took him out quickly. Then I made my second attack against the Servitor and took it out as well. Then over here I had the Druids attempt to Force Bolt the Servitors. They missed horribly. No. Yeah. So then the Overseer came over and used his Devouring and ended up taking out both the Reflex Servitor and the Attunement Servitor. So that gave the Feral Warpwolf room to charge, which he did. He took out a model. He took out one of the squad there. Did some damage to the Galvanizer, and whiffed everything else. So then Lars here charged, didn't do a thing. Luck was catching up to me. Then Kaya just cast Forced Evolution on the Pureblood, or on the Feral, and that was it. All right.
So before I say anything about my turn, I have to say that Logan on his previous turn moved his druids perfectly to avoid the countercharging Reflex Servitors. Every time I went for a countercharge, it was about like 6 1/32 inches from the target I wanted to countercharge. So he has that down. He can judge distances very well, and that allowed him to take my Servitors out of the way and get to the meat of my army. On my turn, however, I popped Syntherion's Feet very early in the turn to allow all of my Warjacks in the battle group to have weapon platform and to charge for free. So I gained extra efficiency from free charges. I also gained extra efficiency from being able to make ranged attacks in the same turn I made melee attacks. So with some careful positioning and high use of synergy, we were able to build up a nice big synergy bonus. We started out by doing a headbutt power attack on Laris to knock him down, make him easy pickings, and start up that synergy bonus. And passing focus around using induction, we were able to get a bunch of attacks on the Feral Warpwolf, the Warpwolf Stalker, and Laris. In addition to those melee attacks, the monitor on the right, who was attacking the Feral Warpwolf and was able to finish him off, also got a nice solid buzzsaw shot into the Pureblood Warpwolf, doing damage even beyond the front lines of the Convergence Army. So a lot of damage to the remaining beasts, including Laris, down to just 1 health. Just barely missed him. But the Warpwolves and Laris and the Druids are ready to strike back. So we'll see what happens next.
All right, Circle. The Warpwolf Stalker frenzied and took out another of the squad. That's all he did. Then the Pureblood regenerated, got his got his mind back, so he moved over and used his Death Howler and got everything over here, took out the Galvanizer here, missed on all of these, and ended up taking out the Servitor. So then Lars activated and got up. No, first the Druids used their Force Bolts. They pushed the diffuser away while these guys pulled the Galvanizer, freeing up Lars, getting him out of combat. So Lars got up from his knockdown, moved over there, and beat up on the diffuser a little bit. Didn't really do too much. Kaya casts, I believe, Forced Evolution on him and healed everyone else. So that was it.
What round y'all on now?
We're on like round
500.
4, 5.
All right, how much longer do you think you're gonna last?
I am going to die this turn. He's gonna go. You're not gonna be filming me again. I'm done this turn.
All right, good luck.
All right.
All right, didn't quite get the job done. It was close. I made my plan and executed it like I wanted to, but it didn't quite get there. I got my synergy bonus up by headbutting Laris, which dealt him 1 point of damage but left him there. That let Syntherion charge over, and he made attacks, and he also hit and finished off Laris now that he was knocked down. So I got my synergy bonus up +1, +2. I had my monitor on the left flank also build up the synergy bonus by taking out the highly wounded Warpwolf Stalker. I had my monitor on the right flank shoot Kaya. He even got a critical for brutal damage, and I was like, yeah, this will do the trick. This will be amazing. 4 dice of damage with Hot Shot and the critical, but the dice came up 1, 1, 1, 3, and not nearly enough to take her out. So there went that part of the plan. So the Galvanizer charged in with a full 3 focus from induction going on. The Galvanizer boosted his first hit roll just to make sure, even with synergy at 3, I did not want to miss the charge. And the Galvanizer brought that saw down, tearing into Kaya, dealing massive damage. But with her transfer to the Pureblood Warpwolf, the damage still overflowed and, well, left Kaya with 1 little box of health remaining. So there she was, still standing there. The Galvanizer was like, I've got another focus. Let me finish this. Spent the focus point, brought that saw down yet again, and whiffed, leaving her still with 1 damage box. So one of the reciprocators was able to charge in, and the others ran to just kind of keep up. He brought his halberd down towards Kaya and whiffed. So thus ended my turn with Kaya at 1 health and much of my army getting to be in her face at this point.
All right, circle turn 5, 4.
5, I think, or 4, yeah.
I think it's, yeah, 5. Okay. The Druids kind of moved over and attempted to pull this caster off the hill. 3 of them missed their Force Bolts. The other one hit. Double 6s to hit. It was amazing. I pulled them off an inch. That was horrible. So, the Devouring, it hit. Excellent. Nothing at all. So Kaya moved over and shot at him, cast Muzzle. It did some damage, few points, not many. And then that had to be the end of my turn.
So at that point, Syntherion's army did a little bit of auto-repairing, but Syntherion kept all the focus. He shook the knockdown effect from the Druids, who both knocked him over and dragged him off his hill. But then he allocated no focus to anyone else, had some auto repairs, and the Monitor walked over to the Druids and whiffed. No hit there to start building up the synergy. And Syntherion, with that 5 focus to go, charged straight in at Kaya, boosted his charge attack, and he missed. So he made an attack with the other weapon, his other weapon, and this time boosted the attack and hit, boosted the damage roll just to make sure, and wound up finishing her off. A very close game there at the end that shows just how much War Machine can be anyone's game when you get to the final moments and the casters start trying to assassinate one another.
Friday, we're finished up with this battle report between DC and Logan. And how did it turn out, y'all?
It was an excellent game. We had a lot of very pivotal moments where the dice could have gone either way and had some interesting rolls. Saw a lot of robots beating up on wolves and vice versa.
Some big important moments where we rolled high. Some even bigger, very important moments where we rolled nothing but ones.
Oh, go ahead.
Roll of the dice. It was back and forth all game.
So this being the first time you played against this army, you think this is going to be a heavy hitter?
Oh yeah, this is going to be a real popular army. I can tell already. Everyone's going to want it. Everyone's going to be playing it.
I know about half of our group now is already talking about getting the battle box for it, so I'm pretty sure after this, we probably sold them on it after this battle report here. So.
Sounds good. We know in this game in particular, a lot of different times that Syntherion's auto repair came into play, where the vectors in his battle group, and even Syntherion himself in one case, was able to heal up a bit of damage, and that really added up over the course of the whole game. But then we've got the other field marshal abilities on other casters, counter charge, arc node, apparition, and these are things that switch up how it plays so substantially when you just change that one model.
All right, well the release date for this is July 10th, and pretty much a lot of the models you saw, is that pretty much all of them they're going to have starting out?
This is the No Quarter Battle Report army from the battle report back in No Quarter 48, I want to say, although I could be off by one. But some of these models are coming out then. Some other models that aren't here will be coming out then, but some of my models are prototypes from later on. So it's a bit of a mix.
And I'll tell you this, not a whole lot of people yet because it just came out, but I just got through reading the Dark Convergence as well. Kind of mixes with this, and everybody knows I'm a Signor fan. I can tell you the fluff that goes with this, it's not just robots around, there's actual real good story that goes with this.
Well, and you know what the initials of Dark Convergence spell out?
Yeah.
DC.
Oh, DC.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all part of a secret plan.
All right, well, thank you very much, Logan, for getting part of this battle report. DC, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate getting to know you a bit better over the weekend, and big shout out to the South Mississippi Gaming.
All right, this is Hinkle for South Mississippi Gamers, and we're signing off from Wargames Con 2013. We'll see you next year.